Hey, welcome to Reality Stitches.
Where reality TV meets cross stitch.
I am Neil.
And I'm Barbara.
And thank you for joining us on the pod today.
Yes,
Woo!
and thank you for those of us who found episode number 1 and who have subscribed. So anybody else watching today that hasn't done it, don't forget, like, subscribe, and tell all your friends. Because we are here with your reality recap.
Yeah. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Instagram at Reality Stitches Pod. So yeah, we'd love to have you follow us in our recaps throughout this long, I heard is like 3 months, like through October journey with Big Brother. So
yes, we are starting with Big Brother. As we mentioned in the last episode, if you didn't catch it, Neil has never seen Big Brother. We are in season 27. So he is coming in with a fresh new perspective, and I've watched it since day 1. So what do you think, Neil? I'm so excited. And just a little word before we get started. Neil and I have not texted all week long. We have not communicated purposely because I want his full reaction on camera so you guys can hear the newbie perspective at the same time I am. So I'm excited to hear what he's got to say. Go ahead,
Neil. Yeah. I'm not sure what I really expected. It's not quite what I expected. I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm kind of surprised that I've never seen it before.
Right? Especially since you love Survivor and you are like Survivor's #1 fan. And it's on the same network. They advertise each show all the time. That it just when you said that at StitchCon, you said, "Oh, I've never watched it." I'm like, "What? Okay, we're gonna do this."
Yeah, I think before in my life I was just like, "Oh, Big Brother does seem like such a big commitment because there's so many episodes and it runs for so long." But then, I did Love Island, and that was like every day for 6 weeks. And I was like, I can commit to this. This is not a problem for me.
Because they become like your family. And when the season's over, you like your best friend or roommate moved out or something. You miss it.
I know. I'm like having post-show depression after Love Island ended. I'm like, what do I do without all of my people in the villa every day? And now I watch Big Brother. So
Yep. And we'll talk a little bit about Love Island and the villa after whatever. We'll talk about that at the end. But right now we are going to focus on the first full week of Big Brother. So,
yes.
What do you think, Neil?
I absolutely loved it. It kind of like during the first episode when I was kind of like getting the vibe and like they did that first challenge I think that was the head of household challenge. It gave me like Legends of the Hidden Temple vibes.
Yes.
And I was like, this is so fun. Like I love the house, and I love that it's kind of like built like on the studio lot, right? And so they have like these big spaces to work with, and you'll have to let me know. So this is obviously the first house that I've seen, and it's like all like the Hotel Mystere, like kind of like murder mystery themed. So is every house themed differently?
Kind of. And from the beginning, it's like every season, the house changes a little bit. They'll remodel. Typically, the HOH is in the same area. The kitchen's in the same place. The bathroom's in the same place. But each year, they tweak it a little bit different. Before, for a number of years, there was a spiral staircase that went up. Now, there's the big staircase that Rachel came down, and it's more, I don't know if somebody got hurt. I don't know why they switched.
Right.
Sometimes up in where the HOH, and they may reveal something later in the season, if you keep going, that little area where everybody plays chess or hangs out upstairs and you can look down in the living room, there's another room back there. Sometimes it's a have-not room. Sometimes it's a little special room. But you'll see as the season goes on. But most of the time, where the rooms are located hasn't changed, just the decoration. Like the have not room every year is something totally off the wall, and they have to stay in there, and it's very uncomfortable, like the body, like this time because it's the murder mystery, the body pit,
Yeah.
cutouts. So it is really cool, and it's different every year. The themes last year was the whole artificial intelligence, and they did the AI arena, which was like the Big Brother. What do they call it this year? The Big Brother Blockbuster, the BB Blockbuster, is
Yeah.
what they're calling it this year. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, was the first year they did that. They eliminated.
Right. They said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So before it was just they nominated two, they did the veto competition, boom, done. Then you had your two people on the block. So this gives it a little twist that you can't, your alliance might screw up your whole alliance and your whole plan if the person you really want to get out wins that BB Blockbuster.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was my notes, like, and I'll probably go through my notes,
Okay.
when we
Because I'm
talk
probably
through.
jumping all over.
Yeah. Like for episode 1, I was like, love the mystery theme, but also I was like, 3 months. I didn't realize how long it was. I mean, I'm pumped. I love having something for this amount of time.
It'll
But
fly
also,
by.
I guess shows that air once a week do normally take like 2 months, 2 or 3 months to air. So
Right.
I feel
Like
so lucky that we
Survivor?
have even more episodes.
Right. And if you can't commit to when it airs on CBS, I just record it on my DVR, and when I get to it, sometimes I watch 2 episodes together. What I hate is waiting from Sunday all the way to Wednesday. There's too much of a break in there.
Right. Yeah.
You'll get that way.
Yeah, I did watch a few of them on Paramount Plus like next day, which was great. Because then on Paramount Plus I don't have ads. So if I watch it on live TV, I have to sit through the ads. So
My
that was
DVR
nice.
Fast forwarded on my DVR.
Yeah. And I also like that the prize is $750,000 because so many shows, they've been on. I mean, Survivor's great because it's like 1 million, but like all of the other reality shows have much lower budgets for prizes.
Right.
And they've been that way for so long and not updated. And so it's nice to see one that like feels more in line with like where we are, I feel like.
Right. So for years it was $500,000. For years, 500,000, and then the second place person, I think they get 50, I think. And then there's the America's Choice, and I think they get 25. But they I think it was last season or maybe the season before they upped it to 750. So
nice.
Yeah, that's good. They've upped it.
Yeah, I definitely think well deserved. Yeah, Drag Race was 100,000 for a long time, and the last couple years they moved it up to 200,000.
Yeah,
but it's still
and even
like
Love Island is only 100,000, 50 each.
Right, 50 each. Yeah, and the Traders, if the multiple faithfuls end up winning, I think the highest is like 250K, but like this year's winners only got 50 each, because they had to split it across the whole gang. So
and they excuse me, they didn't get they didn't get them all out. So
yeah, and they also like didn't really care about the money throughout the whole season, so they didn't even like.
Which a lot of them are former reality stars that need to line their pocketbooks. This is their income,
Right.
So
yeah, it's so. And speaking of Traders, so I do know Rachel, but only because she was in Traders season 1.
Rachel was?
Yeah, her and Cody.
I have forgot that. I need to go back and watch Traders 1 then.
Yeah, but she
was on that.
So I knew who she was, but she is very different, like in the Big Brother context.
Oh,
like,
yes. Oh,
Um,
yes. And you saw Thursday's episode, right? We'll
yes,
get into
yes.
that,
I
but
saw last night's episode.
woo!
Yeah. So,
That's Rachel.
yeah. So in episode 1, we do all of the reveals, and I thought it was so cute that they get little keys,
Hmm.
like to learn that they're in the house.
Right.
And I liked the key theme throughout. Like they used the key for the nominations, and
Yep.
um so I liked that. I believe it was Ashley that said in her intro that she's the Black Elle Woods, and I thought that was so
Yes.
cute because she's an attorney.
Yes.
And I also thought it was interesting that she didn't tell anyone that she was an attorney. So it's like
Right.
they do
A
that in
lot of them.
Survivor as well.
Yep.
They lawyers always lie about their jobs. And
Exactly.
so
And some,
yeah.
like, I don't remember what season it was, but one time they had like a neuroscientist or somebody who was like really super smart. And they said they did a job like a child daycare center worker or something. They play
Yeah.
down their jobs that need education and, you know, being really smart to jobs that, so they don't give the impression that they know everything. You know what I mean? They
Right.
dumb themselves down basically because they think that if they show that they're this educated person, that they're a threat and they get voted out. So
Right. Even like when like at the end of this week they were showing Zay winning chess so many times, and like how that was showing like him having like really good strategy, and how that
yes,
was making him a target. So
and his languages. The kid is
yeah,
smart.
yeah,
The
yeah.
kid
And he
is
was, yeah,
very smart.
speaking, is he speaking Spanish, I think, or maybe Portuguese?
I don't know. You're the language expert, not
I
me.
know. I think he was speaking Spanish, but um and then so are all the intros like this? Like do they all have little packages,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
so cute. And I
Yep.
also thought it was interesting that they all just didn't enter the house at the same time. That they entered like 4 at a time.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. I think they've done that since the beginning. They'll
Huh.
put, you know, a few in at a time, let them, and I think it's all part of, again, who gets what bed, who gets, you know, sometimes people run in and they put their stuff on their bed. Sometimes, some seasons, everybody's like trying to be polite. Oh no, let's wait till everybody gets in and we'll decide who's going where. And some seasons it's like, this is my bed.
Yeah, and I don't even think that was even really shown much
No, not this year. No.
in this intro. Yeah. I did think it was funny that I believe it was Amy, like, she was in the first group that went in, and literally everything she saw, she was like, oh my God, this is so great. Oh wow, I love this so much. They were just talking about her being like kind of loud.
And I think as we go forward, I think I know why she acted that way because of
Right,
her
looking
role.
back, yeah.
Because of her role later on, we're going to talk about why maybe she looked, you know, was acting that way
Right, drawing attention to other things, and yeah,
instead of
I
herself.
think you're right, yeah. Um, and also in all of the intros, almost everyone mentioned their relationship status. So I assume that showmances are a huge part of this show.
Huge. Like, as you know, Miss Rachel, and she talks about it a little bit, she
Yeah,
met Brendan, her husband. They've been married since not long after she won season 13. And I think they met in season 12. And
right.
she said she met him on day 1 or 2, and they have been inseparable. So in the piece, you saw Rachel talking about how she's pushing all these young people to go into these showmances so that they're distracted so she can go and win the money. Smart Rachel. I
It's a
love
good
Rachel.
strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, there's a few, I think it was both Rachel and Amy. I've got it in my notes. Both of them talked about being matchmakers. And I think Amy was just like, because it's cute and I think that these people should be together. But yeah, Rachel's was strategy based.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think everyone else in there except Rachel and Amy are single. I think they're the only ones that are married, aren't they?
And Will is
Will, that's
married.
right. I was gonna say there's a guy, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Will. So the rest of
Yeah.
them are all, oh, I told my family I wouldn't do a showmance, and then they're making googly eyes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Be quiet, Riley. You're gonna fall in love.
Yeah, and that Zach and oh, what's her name? Cute little, is it
Lauren.
Lauren? Yeah,
Mhm.
Zach and Lauren, mark my words, they're gonna be a showmance.
They're cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote down all the characters as all the players as they came
Yep.
in.
Yep.
And my favorites off the top based on intros and like their first, foray into the house. I really liked Kelly. Mostly because she's like from South Dakota and she was like doing goat yoga and I was like, that seems
Mm-hmm.
so fun. So I really liked Kelly. Initially, I really liked Adrian as well. I liked his intro package, though we didn't see a ton of him throughout this week. I love Keanu
Yes.
and
He
I love
reminds
him even
me
after this week.
he reminds me of the big main character on Moana. The one that the rock.
Maui, yeah.
I love that. That's who he reminds me of.
Yeah. And I love that he's like super nerdy. Like I love that he like plays D&D, like I play D&D. And so it was just exciting to see in his intro package that he was like doing his character voices and
Yeah.
I just think that was really cool cuz also like people just have such a vision of D&D being just like this really nerdy thing, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the epitome of nerdy things. And just to see someone who I feel like you don't really expect Keanu to be the type who would be play because he
Right.
looks like a jock, he looks like
Yeah,
he's
like a big
super
meathead.
athletic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love Keanu. I also love Vince. He was one of my
Yes.
favorites coming in, and he is still one of my favorites this week. I'm actually dressed kind of like Vince today with my beanie and my shirt over
I
my
love
t-shirt.
it. I love it.
I really just like I have a lot of gender envy when it comes to Vince. I'm like, I just want to be him. Like I just want to
Right?
I want
Right?
his mustache.
I was gonna say he's got that mustache going on.
Yeah. And I really liked Ava. I thought Ava's hats were so fun.
Yes. When they went to break Thursday after they showed the recap of and we'll get into it more, the veto meeting.
Yeah.
I loved how she said, I guess the meeting's adjourned. It was so funny.
Yeah, she's got good, like, colorful commentary.
Yeah, and you don't expect that, again, from her. Stereotypical, like, nerdy. She's hilarious. She's so funny.
She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think I wrote it down exactly, so I'll say it now. Later in one of the episodes this week, she was like, I think they were in the bathroom and she was talking about the women in her family having big butts. And she was like in there twerking. And I was like, you go, Ava. This is incredible.
Right. That's Big Brother. Welcome to Big Brother. Welcome.
Yeah.
There's no filter. Especially if you go to Paramount Plus and watch any of the feeds. Did you watch live feeds at all?
I didn't this week, but I think I might this next week. Turn it on
they're not
sometimes.
edited. They're not. It's live feed. So they've got 4 cameras and they're in 4 different rooms. And sometimes if somebody starts talking about something, then they'll switch it and they'll, freeze frame that and you'll have to go to a different camera. But it's raw. It's not filtered. And that's where you hear all the good stuff. Plus, if you want to go ahead and look ahead, you're going to see who gets head of household. You're going to see who gets nominated. You're going to see all those things playing out in real time. But the competitions and all of that they film, you won't see any of that till the show is on CBS. So you'll be able to get ahead of time. You're going to know, so-and-so's HOH. Let me see how they won. So you'll know ahead of time. But it's kind of fun.
Yeah, who are some of your favorite players?
Okay, well, of course I love Rachel because she's, the vet that's in there. I love her. She has a huge target on her back, but I like Amy for her. I like that they're both moms and they have that mom group, alliance. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
Mom Squad.
Yeah, the other person I really liked was Morgan. She's a model and a gamer.
Yes.
I love her. And she's kind of getting in with one of the other alliances, what, the heavy hitters or something. I don't remember. She's kind of in one, and then she's also talking to Rachel and Amy kind of in that one. So I think Morgan's going to be somebody we're really going to have to watch.
I think so too. Yeah.
Vince
I
is
really
pretty
like
cool,
Lauren.
and he kind of, he needs more of a backbone when dealing with the big guys, the meatheads, to be able to, he kind of caved a little bit, I think, with Zane a little bit. I don't think that's going to be a problem anymore, right?
Right.
But I do like Vince. He's got a pretty good head on his shoulder, going forward. But somebody I really don't like, Jimmy. Ooh, Jimmy's speech at the veto competition. Or not competition, but veto meeting. Oh my gosh. Reminded me of season 1 Survivor when Sue Hawk went off on Richard.
Yeah.
That was the Sue Hawk moment. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the final episode of season 1 of Survivor.
Yeah, I'm sure you can YouTube that clip specifically.
Sue Hawk went after him. And that's what Jimmy did to Keanu. And I don't think he deserved any of the wrath that he got from Jimmy. I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. I mean, while we're talking about it, like, what's so wild is that Jimmy is the one that was spreading Keanu's name. Exactly. So it's like Jimmy was doing what he was blaming Keanu for.
That's why I don't like him. And
yeah, he is
like
a snake.
In Survivor, you have to be that way. You have to be outplay on Survivor. You got to kind of bend the truth a little bit. You got to do the same thing in Big Brother. But the way he come out on week 1 after him, no. And people aren't going to like that. So I really hope he gets HOH and puts his little butt out the door. That's what I'm predicting, hopefully.
Yeah. That was wild times. That was when Ava was like, because Jimmy was like, this snake does bite. And he was like, you're as fake as these sunglasses. He like threw his sunglasses down the hallway.
I love Keanu's comeback. Did you practice that long or something? He asked him, so did you practice that?
Yeah, how long did it take you to come up with that? Yeah.
Right.
Keanu's so cool.
Yeah.
Too,
and then they become bros afterwards. They go and hang out together outside. They hug it out. And I was like, ooh, just be careful because that knife's going to be right in your back as he's hugging you.
Yeah, Jimmy still has the knife out for sure.
He does. I do not care for him, but those are my favorites. I want Rachel, Amy, or Morgan. Those are my girls. Of course, I don't think a girls' alliance has ever been successful in either Survivor or Big Brother. We have to have a girls' alliance. That's what I think
Parvati's alliance was pretty.
Really?
In Survivor. I think they might be the only one.
Yeah, I mean, there
I can't really remember. It's been a while.
Attempts to do that,
right?
And then I think showmance is getting away because these girls that form these, we're gonna have this, and then they get in a showmance and they can't go against their boo. Hey, it's money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah. So then we have the door challenge and the relic challenge. To get
in episode 1.
In episode 1, yeah.
The first one was to find Julie because the mystery was Julie had disappeared, and then the relic was to find out who was HOH. Going to compete
or who got to do the nominations, for the HOH competition.
Yeah, and that usually doesn't happen. Usually the competition for HOH There's just a winner. So this is a good way that they opened the season. I've never seen them do it like that. So that person got that award, and then they got to choose who competed for HOH. And then in the background, they got another surprise power with that money. They got money and they got a power.
Right. Zach's power was anytime he's on the block, he can trade his money for taking himself off the block, right?
Right. And then
which seems like an incredible power.
Yeah, and it can be used anytime. It didn't have to be this week. Some of them come with you can only use it in the next 2 weeks or whatever. But this one, is pretty much keep it in your back pocket and don't tell anybody.
Do the cash prizes normally come with a gift? Because it doesn't seem like anyone questioned if Zach had like an extra thing.
Not always. Not always. A lot of times, and they'll do it, I'm sure they'll do it a few times throughout the season. A lot of times the veto competition, they have it where, kind of like a white elephant, you win and you can go, you're the first one to win your round. You get to pick of the however many prizes. So usually the person picks the veto. So they get the veto and they stand there, that's their prize. Sometimes you don't know what the prize is until it's open. So then the next person, they win that round, they can take the veto or they open the next one. And some of them are punishments. And the punishment is for a week you have to wear this costume. Sometimes it's a unitard. Sometimes it's a duo. They have to wear, like, I can't even remember. Go back and watch them. But there are some costumes where you are literally connected by handcuffs, by a belt around your waist. You are connected to someone else. You have to sleep in the same vicinity. You have long enough so that you can go in the bathroom and shut the door. And then they have to wear, and they have to wear it for a week. Some of them are like, I don't want to say punishments, but they have to do something outside in the backyard. Like one person had to run up and down the thing like 100 times or whatever. And while they're doing it, they have to do something like carry this prop to this area and do something. And sometimes they'll get you out of the bed. Somebody had to make pies one year, and they'll wake you up at 3 a.m. Time to bake the pies! And she's got to get her hat on and do the apron. It's hilarious. Every year they're different. It's so fun. It's so fun.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that they fell through trapdoors.
Yes, that was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. And then they were trying to figure out who wanted to do the HOH challenge. And so normally, is it a smaller group of people or does everyone have to compete? Or is it just who wants to compete?
Typically everyone. And there's a big thing, and they talked about it a little bit. I don't know if it was that competition, or the veto competition. But sometimes people actually will throw the competition. Like they'll lose on purpose because they don't want the power. Like Vince, I think, talked about it. He didn't want the power of whether or not he had to use that veto. And then everybody would be mad at him if he didn't. And then the house would be mad at him if he did use it. And so a lot of times people, either they tell people they do it or they don't, and they throw the competition. Somebody that was in, I don't know if it was last season or the season before. I mean, he's a D1 athlete, right? And he's losing all these competitions. Something's not right. Well, he kind of floated through. And then all of a sudden, boom, he had to win some comps. And of course he won. I can't remember who it was. But that's a lot of people, they just pretend they aren't as strong as they are because it puts a target on your back.
Right. So many people said that in the door challenge where they were finding Julie. so many people were like, I'm throwing this. Like Riley said it, Morgan said it.
Right.
Yeah, they were like, I don't want a target on my back this early.
Exactly. And a lot of them kind of held back to watch the wrong answers to the doors that were down on the first floor.
Right.
And then once they got up to the second floor, Zach had watched people, so he knew which ones were the duds. And so he went to the right one. Boom, there was Julie. It was kind of fun. He got to hug her before he got voted out. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they did the HOH competition, the Destroy the Lair, which I thought was such a fun thing. It looked way harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Some of these competitions are really, really hard. Like, I don't know where these people come up with this stuff, but some of them are hilarious. The props that they have with them, what they have them do. They will definitely have the favorites. You'll see as the season goes by, they'll have ones that are on every season because they're classics. The wall that they have to hang on, the BB Comics, the way they do that, that's closer to the end. There's certain,
staples.
Yeah. Because Survivor's kind of like that. It's getting like that too. Like classic
Drag Race is like that too. Yeah. They have staples for each season.
And it's
That's
fun.
so interesting. And I also appreciated that all 3 of those challenges in episode 1 were like level playing fields. Like you didn't have to be super strong. You didn't necessarily have to be a genius. Like they were all like pretty level playing field. There wasn't like an advantage to a gender or an age group or...
Exactly. And you'll see going forward as well that if they have a competition that is more physical, like the wall, where they have to stand up on the wall, or some of the other physical ones, then the next one they're going to have is more mental. And it'll be, if you agree, you put yes, or if you disagree, you put no. And so there's a lot of it's memory. You got to remember what happened the week before. Oh, in the whatever competition, so-and-so said this. Either they did or they didn't, true or false. And so a lot of it, memory is going to come in, and they don't have notebooks. They don't have pens and papers, so they can't keep track. So as the season goes on, you're going to see people talking about it and remembering on day 30. They'll have to keep that in their mind and memorize. And it's kind of cool when you don't have anything to write with to do that.
Right. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And then the last things that happened in episode 1 was Rachel's entrance and then the announcement of the accomplice.
Yeah.
So
Ta-da!
that was a really great way to end the episode. And you can tell Rachel's she's definitely like reality TV royalty, like in her gown, and she just like knows the right things to say that are like the most dramatic, you know? So and that's really cool.
Throughout the week, you saw that more and more, especially, we're going to get into it. I keep jumping ahead. Let me refocus.
Yeah, my favorite line from that episode was Vince in a confessional where he was like, sure, people here are models and bodybuilders, but how many people can say, I live with my parents?
Right.
And I thought that was funny. I wrote down for each episode like a favorite line.
Yeah, I didn't have a favorite line. I just love it all.
Totally fair.
That episode, my favorite line in the second one, I'll tell you when we get there. I think I've already talked about it, though.
Perfect. Well, that was a great first episode.
I loved it. I hope you are hooked forever.
Yeah, I definitely hooked. And so then going into episode 2, I was already like, Keanu and Vince are my favorites. My guess, I thought Kelly was going to be the accomplice. Did you have a guess on who you thought it was going to be?
I thought kind of maybe Kelly too. And then I was listening to some of the reasons that people were saying it was either Riley or Zane.
Zay. Yeah.
And so I thought that, oh, maybe. But Kelly was in there too, because she was talking a lot and, giving her advice. And I had no idea who it turned out to be. I had no idea it was her at all.
Yeah, I didn't know it was Amy either. And I thought more people should have listened to Lauren. Lauren was like, I think it's a woman. Like,
Yes.
It makes sense numbers wise that if they brought in Rachel, that one of the women would be the accomplice.
Right. She's so smart.
And it made me kind of mad that like everyone automatically assumed it was a man. And I was like, the stupid gender bias. Of course they think that like, the accomplice is a man. Right. And it's like no one even floated women's ideas. Like women except for Lauren.
And
like
because Kelly was out there, she could have easily been the one that they were all, that they could have focused on. But you could tell in hindsight, when we talked earlier in episode 1, when Amy came in the house, how she was looking at everything and calling attention. She had a job she had to do as the accomplice. She had to hit that timer, and you'll see, and then she had to go and do a candlestick to open a lever so that ta-da, Rachel could come in and make her entrance from upstairs.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
had no idea.
I had no idea either. I loved the Riley and the Zay theories.
Right.
They were all pretty good theories.
Right.
Oh, I know what I was saying. Amy didn't even really have to like campaign or like spread rumors it was someone else because no one even suspected a woman really. So she just like let people run with the Zay and Riley theories. When they announced that there was an accomplice, Ava said in a confessional, imagine what they could do to this hat. And I just...
She's so worried about her hats.
But her hats are incredible.
Yes, they are.
I just love her vibe. She is literally just vibing. And that's also like what she does. She is an aura portrait maker.
Right.
Or artist. Yeah, an artist. And so she literally just like paints people's vibes and their auras. And I just think that's so fun.
Yeah, she's very unique,
Yeah.
It would be so cool. I know we're just a little itty bitty baby podcast, but wouldn't it be cool to get some of these people that we think are like totally unique, like Ava when she gets off? If she gets voted off and not in the jury, she gets to go home. If somehow we can have her come and talk to us, that would be so cool. But
we can definitely try.
We're just a baby podcast. We'll get a hold of them somehow.
Yeah, we're manifesting. We're manifesting it.
We want voted off Big Brother contestants to come on our podcast.
Yes, we'd love to do exit press.
And then we can ask them if they do any crafts like cross stitch.
It's true. Yeah, I'm sure someone does.
Yeah, see, I would love to go on Big Brother. I used to want to do that instead of The Amazing Race. But at the time, they don't let, people of my stature before I lost 100 pounds usually can't do the physical stuff as well. There was a girl a couple seasons ago, though. She was a big girl, and she held her own quite a ways through the season. I was very impressed. But anyway.
That's awesome.
I don't think I could do it now that I'm such a stitcher and quilting and sewing and all. I couldn't do it without... But the needles are probably a weapon that they wouldn't allow us to have in there, so...
Oh, sure. Yeah, probably. Some of the other things that I wrote down, like at the beginning of episode 2, was I am obsessed with Vicky's obsession with the mastermind's eyebrows. She mentioned it several times, like every time the mastermind was on screen, she would say like something about how perfect the eyebrows were.
Okay, so I kind of read a little blurb somewhere, and I think I know who the mastermind is. and I think he's going to end up entering the game. And I hope
Really?
if it's who I think I've read it is, I hope it's not going to happen.
Interesting.
And if you watch any Bravo reality TV, he's from Bravo.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yes. Should I name names or no?
Yeah. Tell us what your prediction is.
Tom Sandoval. We don't want Tom Sandoval anywhere near Big Brother.
I don't know. I loved watching Tom in Traitors. He was really fun television.
Okay, but did you watch him in Vanderpump Rules with our girl?
I did, yeah.
No.
I did, yeah. That was less good.
Now, Schwartz, I could deal with some Schwartz. I could deal with him.
Yeah, I like Tom Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's who I heard it was, and that somehow he's going to enter the game. And I'm getting ahead of myself. The end, or within Thursday's episode. Ooh,
right. Yeah. I was like,
scary.
how's nobody waking up? Yeah. I was like, that's terrifying.
Exactly. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'd be freaking out if somebody walked in like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't film it. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. That's true. Another thing that somebody used as a reason for Zay being the accomplice, they were like, he has suspicious frosted tips.
Yes.
I think Ava said that.
But it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. And okay, and then I wrote down, I like Morgan, and then I wrote, get the fuck out, Adrian, because he said Morgan is really pretty for being in her early 30s, and I was like, I hate you now, Adrian. How dare you?
Exactly. I don't care for him anyway. I really didn't.
I'm not a big fan of him anymore. Anyway, and then we're introduced to the have-not room, which I was like, that room is incredible. I'm glad that in that episode on Thursday when they show everyone sleeping, it was cool to see them like actually sleeping like on those, people cutouts or whatever. So yeah, in episode 2 we start off like with them dealing with the accomplice, and then they have introductions with Rachel. We see the have-not room. This is when Zach gets his envelope for his special power. And then we start getting alliances. The first alliance we see is Jimmy, Morgan, and Vicky, which that's the only time we saw them talk this whole episode. So, or like this whole week.
Right.
It looks like unnamed alliances don't really matter.
Right.
Then the second alliance we saw was the Mom Squad 2.0, which was Amy and Rachel. Oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about Showergate. About Ashley taking the 2-hour shower.
Right.
What in the world? What did you think of Ashley's shower?
Well, I don't know if you heard it, and they never replayed it. They never focused on it. But she said as she walked into that bathroom, oh, I'm only going to take about 10 minutes. She took 2 hours in that man's shower in the HOH room. To me.
Yeah.
And he hadn't even taken a shower, and they had been up filming all this stuff all day. He was very tired. He was trying to go to bed. And to me, you're not reading the room. That's no awareness of your fellow cohort. I would feel horrified. And then to go downstairs and find out everybody's talking about you and how you took a shower before he even had one. Yeah, no, I didn't like Ashley after that.
I didn't either. Yeah, I wrote, okay, I hate Ashley. She is unaware, oblivious, self-absorbed, and inconsiderate.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's basically like what happened episode 2.
Right.
And Vince, they did the nomination ceremony. And so I totally agreed with Vince's nominations. I think Amy, like if Amy hadn't cried when she was talking to Vince, I don't think she would have been put up. So I think that was an error on her part, but like, with the with the information that Vince had, I definitely agreed with his nominations.
Yeah, and I think hopefully Rachel's gonna like counsel her as to what not to do. I mean, if she tells Rachel, "Hey, when I went up there, I cried," and Rachel will be like, "No, no, you shouldn't have done that." I hope that she's coaching her on how to be and how her conversation should be going forward. Because yeah,
Right.
that really, that's what got her nominated, was her going up there. And he said, "Oh well, if she's that close to Ashley, then easily there's my next nomination, easily."
Right. Yeah.
And then wait a minute, let's talk about Kelly. Why on week 1 are you voluntarily going to be on the block? Okay, so I don't know if you picked it up. They call them pawns. Like sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, and the term backdoor. Do you understand what they mean by backdoor?
No, I don't even know if I heard them use that term.
Okay,
or at least I didn't clock it.
Okay, so a backdoor is when they have a veto competition, they take somebody down and put somebody up who has absolutely no idea that they're even being considered for being nominated, and the whole house wants them out. They backdoor them by putting them up after the vetoed person comes down, and then they all vote them out. And it's called a backdoor, and it's glorious when it happens. It's so awesome when it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why Kelly wanted to be put up on the block, especially because she was like, "Oh, pawns can go home still."
Exactly, because
a
lot of times pawns do go home, and that's a saying that's been around for quite a few seasons, and it's happened. "Oh, I need to put you up," but usually it's the head of household telling somebody, "I'm going to put you up as a pawn," when really it's a back door, but they don't know it's a back door. So pawns go home because really it's a back door. However, this was she volunteered in week 1. Why would you do that? There are 17 house guests. Why would you volunteer in week 1, Kelly? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why she did that.
And what if she hadn't won? I mean, we're going to jump ahead, but what if she was still on the block on Thursday? You know?
I don't know who they would have voted for. I think if it was Kelly and Zay, they would have still voted Zay out. But if it was Kelly and Amy, they would have voted Kelly out.
You think so?
I do think so. So
Really?
many people seem to have or they showed a montage of people being weirded out by her.
True. And because of the Rachel and her campaigning to keep Amy.
Yeah. Rachel rallied for sure.
I think she still would have rallied, and you're right, Kelly would have went home. So we're jumping ahead to eviction night.
Yeah. Yeah, so episode 3 was the veto competition, and before they do that, Ashley goes and talks to Vince about why he lied, and she was like, "I trusted you." And earlier you mentioned that Vince needed to have a backbone with the guys. Vince needed to have a backbone with the girls too. He could not handle their tears. He did not know what to do.
He couldn't.
And I wrote down, I was like, Ashley, well, I put Ashley is the worst. And then I said, Vince needs to stand on business. Vince's kryptonite is tears.
Exactly. And the big muscle macho guys that, you know, maybe he finds himself inadequate because he's not a big macho guy. And he, you know what I mean? He reminds me of the kid that was bullied in school. I don't want to bring up that whole topic if it's a sensitive subject, but you know, you don't, when a big guy, macho man jock comes to just a little nerdy kid,
right?
You're gonna back down. You're gonna do what they say, and I don't know how Vince is at. Well, he's still living in his mom and dad's basement, so come on, Vince, grow some.
Yeah. And then we get kind of a few scenes with the showmance the buds of romance. And I
Yeah.
wrote in my notebook, well, it's not going to show you, but you can kind of see the heart outline.
Exactly.
I wrote down Zach and Lauren and Riley and Catherine, and then I put a heart around it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Riley and Catherine, I totally forgot about that one. He is smitten. He is so smitten with her.
Yeah, she's beautiful too.
And I love Rachel and Amy. Oh, you should go talk
Hyping
to
him
her.
up. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, but I told my mom I wouldn't have a showmates. Oh, but that's okay. That's where I met Brendan on day 2 and blah, blah, blah. And Rachel's like, get in
Yes,
there.
aren't you a grown man, Riley? I think you can make your own decisions.
Right.
Dear Lord.
I hope those two couples do, become showmances because, like
same.
Rachel said, they're going to be distracted and she could just move right in there.
Yeah, it'll be
the rest of the girls.
Yeah, good dynamics, I think, for the show as well.
Exactly. And that's why they do that. That's why there's so many single people in that cast. So to speak. Because they want that. That's what, makes good reality TV.
Exactly. Is there a significance to the head of household room being 1313? Oh my god, it's because it's 2 B's.
Yes.
That's hilarious. I was just looking at it and I was like, because it makes BB, probably.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Plus, it may tie all into this spooky mystery intrigue.
Right.
The number 13. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's not always 1313?
I've never noticed it before.
Okay. They do like a ton of like zoom ins on it. So I also wonder if maybe that'll be used, like the 1313 will be used as a code or something later in a challenge or something.
I think so, because they were showing the candlestick. They were showing the power box that Amy had to turn the switch on. They were showing the portraits. They were showing that box. So I think the people are not dumb. They're leading us down this path.
Yeah.
And I think, and even for the house guests, sometimes the challenges are, how many pictures are on the wall in the whatever room. And if you hadn't sat there one day when you're bored to death and counted how many pictures are on the wall in the whatever room, you're not going to know the answer to that question. Every little detail, you have to make a note of it in your mind somehow.
Yeah. Well, here's my prediction that they will use the code 1313 for something. But it totally works, like, for the spooky thing, but also, like, I mean, I have it written down. The 1 and the 3 makes like a B. So it looks like BB, which is really cool. And then I was dead at Adrian and the washing machine, that he couldn't get the washing machine to work. It was so funny.
And when you think about it, I don't know how old he is, but
yeah, he's in his lower 20s. Yeah, his early 20s.
A lot of these young kids that really have not lived outside the home, or they go home and have their mom do their laundry, or you know what I mean? They don't know how to operate a washing machine. And he said in the confession, my washing machine goes like this. This one goes like this.
Right. Yeah. It was very funny.
It was hilarious. It was so funny.
Yeah. And then we get kind of like more insight to Keanu's life, and he talks about his dad's cancer, and
that moment
that was really intense.
Rachel, that was so nice that they bonded over that. And that, now she's getting her foot in a little bit with another alliance outside of the girls' alliance. Rachel's playing already. Yes, it was I think it was an authentic, real moment that she shared with him, but it's going to come back in handy down the road, I really think. Right.
It's funny because after that conversation, Rachel was talking in a confessional about, like, she was like, and I really loved this conversation, and it really showed me that he's not just this Dungeons and Dragons football player. And I was like, I don't think
Right.
anyone's ever put both of those descriptors
In the same sentence, right?
It was funny. And then let's see. Jimmy, this is when they were forming the heavy hitters. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Jimmy wants a strong six, like from Survivor this past season. He like
Mm-hmm.
wanted all the strong people to be together in an alliance. So they
Exactly.
pulled together, it was Jimmy, Rachel, Morgan, Zach, Vince, and Riley are the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
I'm like
That's an
kind of keeping
interesting.
track of alliances.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Because it's got guys and girls in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be a total guys alliance. That comes in a little bit later. But
Yes, the Burger Boys.
the Burger Boys, yes. That alliance, I don't think that one's going to go very far. Number one, because the biggest meathead, as we know, gets voted out. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting how they build alliances, and it's been a thing since, I don't know if it was season 1. You got to go back now that you're hooked. If you got time, go back and watch like Dr. Will. You know who Dr. Will is?
I do. He was on Do or No Deal Island season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the season, him and the guy named Boogie, I can't remember if that's season 1 or 2, but you got to go watch them. He's a classic Big Brother player. It was a lot different than how they do Big Brother now, but man, I think it was those guys that started the alliance and naming it. And so it's a big deal. You go, you get an alliance, whether it's a good one or not. I don't know if you watched this season. Well, you haven't because you're new to this. 2 or 3 summers ago, you know, a lot of times other ethnicities, other racial isn't represented very well. Well,
Right.
this season they happen to have quite a few African American or Black, however you want to call it, cast members, and they formed an alliance early on called the Cookout. And I'll tell you what, they ran that show. They ended up as the top 6. So someone from the Cookout won because all 6 of them were final 6.
It might have been season 24 because I was just listening to a podcast and the co-host is the first Black woman who ever won, and that was season 24. But I mean, she didn't mention anything about.
No, she was a different season. The guy who won is Xavier, and he's been on the challenge, and he's been on what is that other show? Oh, not The Mole.
The Circle?
It's a show like The Mole. Not Traitors. Oh, I can't
Anonymous?
remember the name of that. What?
Anonymous?
Yes. That's Xavier was on Anonymous.
Oh, I've seen Anonymous.
Yes, he's a very tall, good-looking Black man. That's Xavier. He won the Cookout season of the Big Brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that they name all the alliances too. Yes. I think that's really fun.
It's fun. And the Cookout, I think, was the most successful one that their core alliance all made it to the final whatever. A lot of these alliances, they lose members. It changes. They drop this alliance because somebody went against their team members, and so they form new alliances. That was the first season that I can remember that all of the members stayed intact till the very end, and it was awesome.
Right. Well, having a core 6, like on tonight's vote, I mean, there's 17 people, so normally it would be 16. In the first episode, in the first week, you only need 8 or 9 votes to go home. Or I think it was 8. So maybe it's normally 7. And so if you have a core 6, you only need to convert 1 or 2 people to your side.
Right.
To have the majority of the household. So, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
but
some of the
it
way
seems hard. Go ahead.
some of the way the votes came out, and I'm jumping ahead to the actual eviction night, but some of the ways the votes turned out, totally opposite the way I thought that they would vote
Right,
in the
because well,
package
because
they
the
put together.
alliances, right, because the alliances kind of not everyone's alliances really matter to them. Like
Exactly. A lot of them,
so,
it's just FaceTime with your people, and then you go in and you don't know who voted for who until you start talking about it. Well, who did you vote? Well, if all these people voted for so and so, then it must have been this person, and they went against our alliance. And a lot of times the votes are the majority. You got to vote with the majority. If you don't vote with the
right,
majority, then you're out, and they're going to know that. And yeah, so there's a lot of things that go into each vote that sometimes it doesn't matter what your alliance says. You got to go with the house.
right. So I want to talk about the veto competition next because that happened in episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
So is every veto competition the head of household, the nominees, and then just like a couple other people?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Usually
always
it's
6, I
six,
think? Yeah,
always six.
always
And
6. Okay.
because now they nominate 3, and then the head of household, that's 4, they only get to draw 2.
2. Okay.
Usually, when it's just the head of household and 2 nominees, each one sticks their hands in the bucket to draw a name. And it's
Oh,
somebody's
okay.
name who's sitting on the couch, or it says house guest choice. So if it says house guest choice, then the person doing the drawing gets to pick. Now
Right.
they do it, they put their names in, the people who are up there, they put their names in the bucket as well. So, like, they drew Amy's name, he drew Amy's name out. Amy got to then house guest choice and pick who she wanted.
Right. And
And then
picked
she picked
Rachel.
Rachel.
Right.
So it's a
Okay.
way they can do it to still get the house guest choice and still allow the people, because otherwise it would only be the HOH that's picking people. So I like how they
Right.
do it now. I like how
Yeah.
they do it now.
Yeah. And then so the challenge was super cute. It was called Campsite Caper. There was a
Yes.
sign that they were in Felony Forest.
Yep.
I thought it was adorable how they were dressed. Are all of the challenges like that? Like
Oh,
kind of
all of
themed
them.
and
Costume, theme, everything. And it has
loved
a
it.
name. Every name of the competition that comes into play.
Okay,
Every
I've
time
written them down. Yeah.
they're going to ask that in future competitions, they're going to ask, oh, in the Fireside Frenzy competition, so and so was the first one to find the whatever. And then you have to do true or false. And then whoever gets
Okay.
eliminated, a lot of times they do head of household competitions that way.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
got to pay attention. You really got to
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. Well, I loved that. I loved that challenge. I was like, the smells are really gross though. Like seeing them, I can't imagine having to do that challenge. Like just seeing them smell and almost gag, like made me want to gag.
They, and just like Survivor in the auction, when they get the food and then they get the yucky stuff, they have to,
Yes.
going forward, they'll have to eat and drink yucky stuff too.
Oh,
And
wow.
one thing I forgot to talk about this earlier when we were talking about the have-not rooms. They don't play it up now as much as they used to play it up, but the have-nots was a big deal. They used to have the competition to pick who were the have-nots for the week. Maybe they will
Okay.
going forward. But they really played into more about what they ate. And they talk about eating slop.
The slop.
This is
Yeah.
literally a pot of nasty porridgey type stuff. I'm sure it's like a oatmeal, a cream of wheat, a whatever type thing.
It looks like dog food is kind of what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get to have back then, I don't know if they still do now. They could have peanut butter and they could have condiments. They could have all the condiments they want. So people were eating pickles and they were eating, a whole bunch of stuff. Then at one time, they used to do it where there were 2 random food ingredients that you could have Brussels sprouts and beets. You could have slop, but you could only eat those two whatever random ingredients. Radishes, and radicchio, whatever, two crazy ingredients that you might not like. Liver and lollipops. I mean, there were random stuff that you could eat that or slop. And I don't think they've really in the past, I don't know how many, seasons, they've really played up what people are eating when they're have-nots as much as they used to. I don't think maybe people were complaining because it's not nutritionally balanced. They used to be able to have protein shakes too. And they just don't show it a lot. That's what they're doing, but they don't spend a whole lot of time showing it.
Yeah, and people wanted to be in the have-nots for the safety. Like, Rachel asked, like, who wants to be in the have-not room? And, like, she had they had their choice of people.
Right, exactly.
Which was interesting.
And this was the first time I remember, maybe they've done it in the past, the first person picked somebody, and then that person picked somebody, and then that person picked somebody. Usually it's a competition. And maybe now with all the other competitions that they're doing that they hadn't done before, the BB Blockbuster or whatever, maybe they're not showing it. Maybe they're doing it. Maybe they'll do it in future episodes. Who knows?
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah. And in the veto challenge, the camera that was in the toilet and watching the players' faces come into the toilet was, I thought, really funny.
Right. And Miss Ashley, her face was like slick. Like, I don't know what she had on her face, but it was like shiny. It looked like she was covered with like some kind of oil. Didn't it look like that to you?
I didn't notice it, but
no. It's like she had gotten her face wet or something. I was like, why is her face so wet? But maybe it's just the way the light was shining on her moisturizer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so I didn't want Ashley to win because I really wanted Ashley to go home this week. But Vince, like, I don't know, like, why wasn't Vince thinking about having a fourth nom like the whole time? Like, obviously that was like a possibility. And it seemed like Vince really waited to the last minute to like think about a fourth nom. So
Right.
And then I wrote, will he pick Kells?
Right. Kelly.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah, definitely not liking Jimmy after the Keanu campaign that he went on.
Oh my god.
But I just feel like Keanu is just killing it. Like, he is getting like such a good edit. Like,
yes,
and he just seems like a really good guy. Like, I like every conversation he's in. I liked how he handled the Jimmy confrontation.
Right. And then they went and talked it out man to man and cleared the air. And then the next day when they had the piece on Kelly being weird, when they showed Kelly coming over and talking to Jimmy and Keanu, they were like bros. Like, he had his arm up around him sitting on that couch. Did you notice that?
Right, yeah.
I was like, what the heck? They're like this now. No. Jimmy is going to stab you in the back. Do not listen to him. Do not. I wanted to scream at him through the TV. Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't fall for it.
No, he's full of it.
Yeah, Jimmy literally said, I'm going scorched earth. Like, right. Jimmy is not playing around.
Total Sue Hawk moment.
Yeah. Let's see. What did I say? I'm trying during the veto meeting. So that's when Ashley decided to use the golden veto on herself.
Right.
Oh, I wrote, I love the formality. I love the formality of all of these meetings and the scripts and like this meeting is adjourned and I love that so much.
So going forward, like if anyone else had won that veto, they would have to go stand up and say, at this time, I've chosen not to use the veto. And then they would take it off and put it in the box and the lid slams down on the box and then they go to the music, and that's usually how they end the episode on, what would that be, Wednesday nights, when they do the
Okay.
veto ceremony. And so it's interesting, because obviously, although it's not always the case, sometimes someone has won the veto and their showmance is sitting next to them on the block, and they take it off and they put it on their showmance and save them. And then they're still on the block thinking that they're going to be able to win against whoever else is nominated.
Right.
So it's not always people are going to use that veto on themselves if they win it. Sometimes they use it on other people. And last season, there was an older gal. What was her name? And I know any of you watchers that are huge Big Brother fans, you're yelling at the screen, telling me what her name is. Oh, what was her name? She was like the mom of the season. Oh, what was her name? I can't remember her name. But anytime she won the veto, whoever talked her into it, she would always bring them down. I don't know how many times that lady won that veto and brought people off the block. Many times.
Aw.
I wish I could remember her name. And it was just a year ago. Why can't I remember her name?
Oh, we've watched a lot of television since then, so.
True.
And so
exes and,
Yeah, exactly. So during the veto meeting was when Jimmy confronted Keanu, which was incredible. Like we said, he threw his sunglasses and he ended it with, "This snake can bite," which was fun.
Da-da-da.
And Ava's mouth was open for a solid 60 seconds. I mean, her jaw was just dropped. Like, and
then my favorite moment of that episode is when she said, "Well, I guess the meeting's adjourned now." At the very end, it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so funny.
It Wednesday. I don't think they showed it to the Thursday episode on the recap of what happened Wednesday. I think as they were going to commercial, I think they showed that she said that. It was so funny. I'm like,
yeah,
you go,
it
Ava.
was really funny.
Yeah, she's funny. Yeah. I think she'll go far because of her quirkiness and her funniness, and the girls seem to like her, because she doesn't look like the typical person that would break out in a twerk session, right?
Right, yeah.
And I think she keeps it interesting. I think she's going to be around for a little while.
Yeah, I think so too. And then we enter episode 4, which was mainly the BB Buster and the eviction voting.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we get like kind of a resolution between Keanu and Jimmy and Vince. And then we get the Burger Boys Alliance, which is Zach, Zay, Vince, Will, and Riley. And then I was like, why does everyone hang out in the head of household room? Is that just because Vince is in there? Or like, do people often just hang out there?
Usually people go up once at a time to get in the head of household's ear to find out if they're going to be nominated. And then the core group, eventually you're going to figure out who the alliances are, because that's who hangs out with whoever's in charge, whoever's in power that week. So yeah, people hang out in there. Usually when they'll come in with the key, "Who wants to see my HOH room?" And everybody runs up to the HOH room. And usually there's pictures from home. There's a letter from a loved one. There's goodies like things that aren't readily available in the house. If you want certain beverages or snacks or whatever, you get this big basket full of whatever it is you put on your request sheet. Sometimes there's alcohol. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes if they ask Big Brother, "Hey, tonight after this competition, can we have alcohol, blah, blah, blah." And, there's been times where things have gotten pretty wild and when they had alcohol. So the past couple seasons, and, all you fans that are watching that watch it regularly, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really remember them focusing on getting alcohol as much in the recent seasons as they had in the past. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah, they didn't focus on it, but he definitely had a pack of Coors Light. Vince did. That was the
And they
only thing I
usually get,
like recognized on the table.
they usually get, you know how when she was in the shower, Ashley then said, well, he was listening to music. HOH gets whatever CD they want, whatever music they want. And usually it's one artist they get to pick, and then they'll have, I mean, before it used to be a CD player. Obviously now it's probably somehow they get headphones and it's got music on it that's just the artist that they like.
Right.
And again, a lot of times back in the day when they had more outside in the yard and there was more interaction with production, like I can't remember who it was. Somebody used to sing all the time. And if you sing a song that's a popular song and you don't have the rights to be singing that song, obviously they can't air it. And so they'll say, so and so, stop singing, or so and so, stop singing, or they'll cut their mic, you know, and production. You are not allowed to talk about production. You don't really see a whole lot of that as much anymore, unless people have learned not to do that, or they don't show that, they edit that out. I don't know, but it used to be funny. I can't remember who it was, but somebody sang all the flipping time. And she's like, I can't help it. So then she started making up songs and singing songs that she's kind of made up, you know. It was funny.
Yeah. There's lots of good sayings and stuff. So I bet some of her songs were fun. But Rachel has a lot of good like mic drop moments.
Yes, she does.
When she was talking to Zay when they were arguing on the stairs, she was like, wait till I'm in a gown.
Right. I love that for her. I was clapping. I'm like, go Rachel. Yes. Yeah. If you're going to come for me, wait till I'm in a gown.
Yeah, it was such a good line. Yes. And she also said, don't come for the queen because you'll get beheaded. Was another one she said.
And then that's why she then turned around and said, if you're going to come for me, wait till I'm in a gown or something like that.
It was so hilarious.
Good. Yeah.
And then... oh, go ahead.
I think this season's going to be awesome. I think that there's a lot of dynamics already at play, and we're in week 1, people. Week 1.
I know. Yeah, I think so too. And then the big thing, of course, in episode 4 was the Blockbuster Challenge, which was titled Ransom Note. I loved this game. It was the ransom letters scrambling on the screen at different paces. And there were 4 different words that I guess led them to a specific object in the room.
Right.
I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't end up telling us what the words were. I know one was with, but that was the only word that I was able to figure out.
And I thought one of them might have been slate.
Yes, because it was showing up as like Altes, Altes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the or whatever it was on the crown that she got, those medallions or whatever that were on the crown.
Yeah.
I think those might have been made out of slate.
Yeah.
So it could have been crown with slate, or I don't know what the first word. I didn't even see the clues for the first word.
Yeah, one was really long.
Miss Kelly just goes walking and grabs this little crown and goes and nonchalantly sits it on her pedestal and then nonchalantly just hits the button. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know. 2 of the words were still scrambled. What is she doing?
Yeah, I wish that she had to like announce what the words were, like in Wheel of Fortune, where you have to like announce what the phrase is, like, because they didn't tell us. I'm sure I can go online and somebody figured it out, but
and if you guys figured it out, put it in the comments below.
Yeah,
let us know if you.
I wanted more time to figure it out myself. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, so Kelly won. She got herself off the block. So then we were left with Zay and Amy on the block.
Are people who save themselves normally as emotional as she was? As Kelly was?
It's stinking week 1. And you know how so many people, congratulations, Kelly. And she was like hugging and thanking and hugging and
crying.
That was over the top. Why is that so dramatic? Come on, it's week 1.
There's a Drag Race quote, because people in Drag Race are either in the top, they're safe, or they're in the bottom 2. And a lot of times girls who are safe get really upset. And there's a really used quote that says, "That's a lot of emotion for safe."
Right.
And that's how I felt about Kelly. I was like, she was like talking to the camera. She was like, "Mom, Dad, I did it. Like, don't worry about me."
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And
I was like, this seems like really extra.
There's something else that was extra that we'll get to when we talk about who gets voted out. There's something else extra that I'll talk about then. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what's next, is then they vote for the evictions. They campaign, and then, there's speeches. I didn't think Amy did a good job selling herself.
No.
Her speech was like really lame. She was like, "I'd really appreciate it if you vote for me." And I was like, well, you're not getting my vote because this is a terrible speech.
Sell yourself. Come on.
Yeah. And Zay did an incredible job. I thought. I was surprised he didn't sway more people. Like the argument that like, this is a second vote for Rachel. This is a Rachel adjacent vote. Like, I thought that was very persuasive.
I think the message was good, but how it was presented wasn't. I didn't like his speech either.
Really? I loved it.
That kid from day one rubbed me the wrong way. I'm so
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about him. Just the way he talked, and just, I don't know. I don't know if it was arrogance or confidence, because, you can have one without the other.
Yeah, fine line. Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of happy he went home. But what shocked me, okay, so he got voted out, hug.
Yeah.
Everybody's hugging.
It was 8-5.
Zach, he was crying like he lost his puppy or something. The man was crying so hard that you could audibly hear him as other people were hugging and saying goodbye to Zay. You could hear the man sobbing like he lost a child,
Yeah. Which generally I am all for men crying on TV because it's great to see men have emotions. But I do agree that it's like, I'm not really sure why he was crying, because it's not like we necessarily saw them have like the tightest bromance of all time or something.
Right. Now, maybe that got lost on the cutting room floor and we didn't see it because of the edit. Yeah. But, I hope they address it in the next episode. Why was this man convulsing in tears because he was so upset his bro was going home? It's week 1, people. That's the one thing that I was like, wow, why was he so visibly upset? And no one else was crying
except for Kelly, because she was safe.
Well, because she got saved. But I mean, the vote, no one else was crying because he got voted out.
Not even Zay was that upset. Zay had such a good attitude, I thought, about being voted out, and he was like, it's the game.
I have a feeling that, like you liked him, that the CBS universe likes him. I have a feeling you're going to see him again. Not sometimes, and I will tell you, sometimes they don't tell it outright, but they hide the first 4 evictees, and they're sequestered, and they come back, and they've called it a BB battle back, and so those 4 people come back to the house. They have a competition, and the winner of that competition gets to come back into the house.
Okay.
They've done that several different ways, several different seasons. So, I think a lot of it has to do with if America really loves the kid that got voted out, they're going to do something to get that kid back in. Whether now it's going to be he's going to partner up with somebody and go on Amazing Race, or if he'll go on the challenge or go on Traders, that kid he's not done with CBS. I think he's got the presence enough and he's athletic enough. He'll be back.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And I did love when the players were voting that they would shout out to people because they know that that gets screen time. They know that they're
Yes.
being filmed then. So,
And
does that
that's
happen every vote?
it happens more. It's relatively new thing that's been happening. And sometimes they're doing it as they're getting up and walking down the hallway. They're still talking. But sometimes, I mean, Julie's like, vote, get out, vote, get out. And they'll sit there, hi, mom. So I think they've had to tell them, you can't say shout outs while you're sitting there. You got to get up. And so then they're doing it as they're opening the door.
As they're walking out, yeah.
Yeah, it's something new that's started. A lot of times, too, if you're watching after hours, or even they edited it out a little bit, if people are starting to give shout outs about something, they'll move the camera, they'll take it off. If people start talking directly to the camera, like, okay, mom, I'm gonna, sometimes they'll cut that out and they won't show that. And it's interesting, because a lot of times people are talking to the camera like they're talking to their families because that's all they can do.
Right, yeah. It's like you don't have anything else to do.
Right.
So, I am sad that Zay went home, mostly because it eliminates the storyline. It eliminates the rivalry between him and Rachel, which I think would have been really good television.
Yes, it would have. Yes, it would have. Now you when you mention that, but I'll bet she's going to have conflict with somebody else. Maybe
sure, yeah.
The people who did, well, of course she is. Maybe the people who did vote for him to stay, she's going to find out who those votes were, and she's going to, start beef with those people.
Right.
I bet that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I bet she will too. Yeah, and my last thing was when when Zay was talking to Julie after he'd exited the house, he said, how many people can say that they got 17th? He was like, so many people can say that they won, but nobody else can say that they got 17th. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yes, because they've never had a season with 17 people.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's 16 is the top. So, yeah, he got 17th place and he's the only one. So, that was kind of cool. So, you survived your first full week of Big Brother. Are you hooked?
I know.
Are you hooked?
I am. I'm hooked. Yeah. I can't wait for Sunday's episode to see who goes for head of household next.
Exactly. Anyone else in the comments, let us know if it's your first week watching as well and what your thoughts are. And if you've watched many seasons, let us know that as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you know that Big Brother isn't the only game in town. There's several reality shows that are out there. What else have you watched this week, if anything?
So watched the finale of Love Island. I went down to a bar in Chicago to do a watch party with some friends, which was so fun. Everyone were huge Nicolandria fans, and no one liked Huda and Chris. And I was the only person cheering for Pepe and Iris.
Really?
Yeah.
How on earth did Huda and Chris get third place over them?
I know. It was funny because everyone was pretty sad when they announced Iris and Pepe as fourth, because they obviously wanted Huda and Chris to be fourth. So when they did announce Huda and Chris as third, that was like the largest cheer of the night, because we just nobody wanted them to get any higher. Right.
In my mind, they had already broken up. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They should have said, okay, since you already broke up, you're automatically going to get fourth. You're disqualified.
Right. Or disqualified from the finale. Their breakup scene was iconic. Having them at that water, the candlelit water table date,
floating,
and then that
floating platform that their
yes,
table was on. Yes,
and then that woman coming out to sing in the middle of them fighting was so funny.
It was hilarious. And then at the end, when and did you notice how much Homeboy was pounding that champagne?
Yes, he
Oh
just
my God,
like.
he kept pouring more and more champagne. I was like, dude, you got to calm down. We got to
I
get
was
through
like,
this.
I don't blame him.
I don't either. I don't either. I mean, she had her moments. She had her good moments where I've been like, well, Huda, why didn't you do that then? Why didn't you talk to him like that then? You know? But like at the end when they were giving their speeches and they were talking about stuff,
Right.
if she would have been that open and vulnerable from the jump, they might have had a chance. But she would
Right.
never listen to that man. She would not let him speak at all. But
No.
what I
Yeah.
liked about the breakup was at first, you know, he carried her onto the platform so she wouldn't get her feet wet and it would be nice and safe. And it was just so romantic. And then at the end, he stomps off. He's like, I'm not carrying you. Yeah, I'm not carrying you. And so she had to get off, take her shoes off, went back and got more champagne, and then splashed her way out of the scene. It was so funny. It was
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
really good. Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm glad Brian and Amaya won. I
they're
was really
so
kind
cute.
of indifferent, but yeah, they're very cute. So happy
Yeah,
they won.
I didn't really like Ace and Shelley as the winners. I mean, they were up there, and I think that, you know, they were pretty good. I haven't seen any of the outtakes to see if they're still together, but I just think when Amaya was getting annihilated by everybody that one fireball, you know, when they were talking, and Brian out of nowhere said, hey, that's not how she is, you know, whatever, she's emotional, I get it. And he stood up for her at that minute. I was like, oh, they're gonna be together. And they're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cute. They are so cute together, and their families love each other. And you know, the other Alandria and Nick, I kind of like them too.
Yeah, I liked their stuff in the finale.
Yeah. I thought that, you know, well, Ace and Shelley got voted off fifth, right?
Yeah, in the
Or not?
penultimate episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I was kind of surprised at that. But if you notice, anyone who said that they were closed off, that's when America said, okay, we don't want them then.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Who was the other couple that was closed off?
Taylor and Clark the week before.
Yeah, once they said, okay, we're closed off, we're exclusive, boom, they were the next ones
voted
America
off.
didn't want there. I don't know if America wanted it to be messy or what. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past America. We do love messy television.
Exactly. So I hope Nick and Alandria, I hope they, in the real world, I hope they, you know, are successful, because they're kind of a cute couple.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So what else did you watch? Anything else reality TV wise?
No, I've been watching Bachelor in Paradise, but there were 2 episodes this week and I haven't watched them yet. So, but RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars season 10 has its finale tomorrow.
Oh.
Or no, God, today. Today is the finale. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So I'll have to watch that tonight.
Yeah, I started doing something. I have Xfinity, and on the remote, you can hit the little microphone, and now I hit it and I say reality TV, and that's all that comes up. So that's what I've been doing lately. And so the new season of The Real Housewives of Orange County, which is the OG of the Housewives series, that episode premiered. And so I watched that.
Nice.
And that's a lot of drama. Good old Tamara, love her, hate her, you know, either one, but she's in there causing problems.
Right.
Another reality show that I watched, and they're in their 2nd season, is the McBee Dynasty. Have you ever heard of it?
I feel like I have heard of it or seen a commercial for it maybe, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, so it's a family, and I can't remember where they're located. And it's kind of like Yellowstone in a way. There's a dad and all these sons. And in the first season, the 3 or 4 brothers are fighting over who's going to take over for dad. And then at the end of the season, Dad says, "That's it. I'm out. I'm going to take off." Well, he had been having a relationship with this lady from Russia who was also their financial controller of the company. So it was kind of like, then he started dating someone else, and there's a lot of drama with his love life in the show. Well, he's gone now. Dad's still on his break, and one of the sons, Steven, who's very good looking, is now in charge. Cole is another brother. He does more of the farming. Steven is trying to get him more into the cattle. And it's a lot like Yellowstone, in that one of the guys on Yellowstone is a spitting image of their brother Jesse. I can't remember. Casey is the guy from Yellowstone. They look so much alike. They're very, very attractive men. So it's a lot of eye candy. They're on horses, you know. So I watched the most recent episode of that, when it was done, another show came on, and I think it's called The Cowboy Way. I think. And I think these guys are down in Alabama, I want to say. And it's the same thing. A group of guys trying to do this cattle ranching type thing. People hire them to come and work their cattle and build them fences. And it's just another reality show about real American farmers and cattle, you know, and there's significant others and so having babies. And it's just, it's a different than the rich people on like all the housewives shows, like we talked about.
Right, yeah.
This is real people. They're really, yes, some of it's probably scripted, not scripted, but they're told what to do and what to say and how to get together. But it's real. They have a real cattle ranch, and it's just kind of interesting. And since Yellowstone was hugely popular, I can see them running with that and, you know, making a franchise out of that type of reality. So, did you ever watch Yellowstone? Did you watch Yellowstone?
I did not, no.
Oh, see, I love me a cowboy. Kevin Costner as a cowboy? Yes.
Love
I
that.
love me some Yellowstone. So, what else came on? Nothing that I can think of that came on.
Yeah, that's all I watched this week.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything new premiering yet. Traders doesn't come out till later. But I'll find out when I hit my reality TV into my little microphone.
I know, yeah.
Yes. So, what about, do we have anything else we need to talk about as far as reality goes, or do we want to get into a little bit of stitching? Because, you know, it is reality stitches after all.
I think, we can go ahead and do a weekly WIP show and tell.
Yes.
So what have you worked on stitching-wise this week, Barbara?
Well, I think I mentioned last time I'm in a seasonal swap, and so the person that I got wants Halloween, and so I've been in a Halloween mode. I didn't work on what I'm going to give her, but I did pull out the Quilted Witch. This is beautiful. A Lori Holt pattern. And the reason I pulled this out is because I'm going to the Lori Holt retreat with the Happy Little Stitch Shop. It's a quilting retreat, but there are people who stitch. And I started this when I was there last year. So I want to kind of make some progress on it and take it with me. So I thought I better get it out. And here's the beautiful, Lori Holt has a way with colors. Here's, this is her little floss drop. These are all the flosses. Beautiful colors. That skirt has so much in it. There's so much going on. But this is where I'm at. Let me do it like this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm doing it on a 40 count sand by Picture This Plus. And it goes this way.
Cute.
Yeah, I really, really like it. I love Picture This Plus 40 count. And whatever the process is they use to dye the Picture This Plus, it makes it tighter. And I love that. So really, it's almost like stitching on more than 40 because it's so tight. And I like it that way. I have this in these cute little project bags. All the floss came in a little kit from them. I got it all as a kit from the Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the little bag I have that I put, this is all Lori Holt fabric from, I believe, Mercantile Line. And so I made the little pouch for the floss, and then this is the big one.
Cute.
Yes, and I don't have, I put a little angel charm on all my bags, as I might have mentioned last time. I don't have any of these patchwork ones out on my Etsy, but I have a ton of bags out on my Etsy right now. So I'll have you know, link the information below.
Yes.
What have you been stitching on?
I've been working on the Abstract Pineapple by Salty Stitcher Designs.
Ooh, awesome.
Let me see if I can, I've got my blur on. I'm not sure if I can turn off my blur on my, let's see, can you see?
It's
little hard to see. Next time I'll have to turn my blur off so you can see. It's a pineapple.
Yeah. Did you see her at StitchCon?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, she was there. She usually sits with Niecy Lynn. Hi, Niecy, if you're watching us. They usually come together and stitch things together, and they sat this year over kind of where the brag table started, up in that corner. They were on one of those outside tables.
Nice. Yeah, no, I didn't. I did not meet her. Yeah. But this is how much I've, see if I put my hand near it, if put my hands near it, it'll show. It's not really showing, but there we go.
Yeah.
So awesome. It's got, I've, done some of the pineapple part, and then this is like a long and short satin stitch. That's cool. Here in the middle. Wow, this blur is just like really not working out showing my cross stitch today, but we learn.
Yes, lesson learned. I have a start that I'm thinking about doing for Halloween this year, and I've never, I've never done a Bella Filipina or a Mirabilia or any of those, but I have this. It's called Greta Goldbroom.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't she cute?
Yeah.
I like it because it's not like a scary witch. She's cute witch.
Yeah, she is a cute witch.
So this was at a retreat that they had in Lansing a couple years ago, and I got a 46 count linen called Changeling, yes, from Fabrics by Stephanie, and I thought it was perfect.
Oh, you're right. That is perfect.
The only thing is, it's a 46 count. I love it, but I'm going to have to find those mini beads.
Oh,
and it's
sure.
Very wrinkly. I'm going to have to get the little teeny tiny beads, because most of the time, any of these, like the Mirabilia Big Ladies, any of those that are stitched and that have beads, it's usually on a 32 count that they stitch that on. But I don't like stitching on 32. I like this. So that's why I haven't really started it, because I want to make sure I can get those mini beads. I know people have used like a 40 count Verdal, and they use that to stitch some of the pretty, the Mirabilias and Bella Filipinas, that they stitch those on a 40 count Verdal, which is an even weave. It's not like a linen that has uneven. It's even like a Lugana and an Aida. It's called Verdal. It's 40 count. they use the little mini beads on that. So I'm hoping that on 46 count, I'll be able to do that. So I got
Yeah.
to get with my girl Tiffany and have her take me to a bead store with her next time she goes. So Tiffany, if you're watching, so I know what to use. So
Yeah,
anything
nice.
else you're going to start? Any other things you've been working on?
No,
Okay,
just the
well,
pineapple.
I have been so busy. That's why I haven't got a lot of stitching done. I'm getting ready for this quilting retreat, and there's going to be about 30 people there. So I had to make something cute out of Lori Holt fabric, right? So
Yeah.
I've been making all these little Kleenex holders.
Barbara,
And
those are adorable.
and they're so easy. I didn't realize. I pulled up a video, and it's so easy. You just take two pieces of fabric, and then you sew the two ends together. And the reason why it comes with it makes a little trim, is the outside fabric is an inch smaller than the inside fabric.
Okay.
No, take it back. The inside fabric is an inch larger than the outside. So when you sew it and turn it right side out, that's why just a little bit of the inside fabric will show as your trim, so to speak. And then some of them, I have one that I got, it was right here, at a retreat. And it had, once you turned it out, let me turn this one right side out. Once you turned it out, the edges were like this, plain. But I saw a video that did the boxed corners. And if you sew, you know what I mean. So see the difference, how this makes like the box so that the Kleenex package fits in it. Whereas the other one is just, I don't have this pressed or anything. It's just flat.
Oh, sure.
Or a box. And so once you get the little package of Kleenex in, they stand up really cute. So
that's adorable.
I got
you
about
could
40
use those
of them.
as Ort catchers too.
You
like,
can.
Without the Kleenex in it.
Yeah, it's a quilting retreat. So everybody that goes likes to sew, can sew, right?
Right.
I got this from somebody last year.
Cute.
And it's that same mercantile fabric that was out last year during retreat time. But this is just made with a 10-inch square. Or 10.5 inch, whatever they call the layer cakes. That's all you do is you use two of them, sew them together, turn them right side out, top stitch, and then you strategically fold the corners down and sew a button. So I was going to make these too, but I got this there, so the person that made this probably will make them again, I'm assuming. I don't know.
Oh, sure.
But I'm excited to go to that. I have a quilt that I started there last year, and I'm almost done. So maybe by next week, that's my stitches that I'll show you, is that quilt all the way quilted, bound, and ready to go. Because they have what they call show and tell, which is like, I feel floss tube is just a big show and tell for adults. You know how when you're a little kid, you get to take your favorite toy into class and you get to talk about it and show and tell? That's what I feel floss tube is. It's a big show and tell for adults, not a naughty kind of adult, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So anyway, hopefully next week I'll be able to show you. I have a Halloween one that I've already got, put the layers together to quilt that. So I'm going to try to use that to practice, because I have a big quilting frame that I've never used that I put my machine on. So it's kind of like a long arm machine. So I'm going to practice on the Halloween one and then work on my chicken salad. It's called Chicken Salad, and it's a quilt from Lori Holt, and I want to have it done for next week. Yay!
That's awesome.
Because my retreat then is the following, we go down that Sunday, the 27th, I think is the day. That's when I go down, and then I'm in Madison that week. So
nice.
Hopefully on our recording on August 1st, maybe we can do it together in the same room.
It would be incredible. That's the goal.
Yes. And I'll bring all my stuff with me. So we have to check out Friday morning. So maybe by the time I check out, I can get from Madison to Milwaukee, and maybe we can do it somewhere in Milwaukee on my
Yeah.
way home.
That would be
We'll have to
great.
do that. We'll plan it. So people, stay tuned.
Yes.
And then I'll have whatever show and tell I have from whatever I worked on at the retreat. I'll have that quilted witch pattern. I'll work on that if I stitch. And then I'll have maybe a couple quilt blocks to show of what I worked on at the retreat. So
That'd be awesome.
Yes. It'll be fun to do it. I'll bring my equipment, so we'll have the dual mics and all that stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Cool.
You'll see us in the same room. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah. And I don't know if it's halfway. It's probably a little bit closer to you. But, we could meet halfway, like Chicago, Michigan City, somewhere from Michigan we could do that sometimes too if we want to, like finale night of Big Brother or whatever.
Oh my gosh, yes. How far are you from Chicago?
I was going to pull my phone up and check. A couple hours, maybe.
Where do you live again? Eaton Rapids?
Eaton Rapids. EATONRAPIDS. Oh, yes, because we are the best. I was a cheerleader. Please don't.
That's incredible.
Please edit that out. No.
No, that's great stuff.
Yeah, no, that's me. That's just who I am.
Okay, yeah, 3.5 hours to Chicago.
Okay, so how about Michigan City?
Michigan City. Let's see, Eaton Rapids, not Chicago. To Michigan City is 2:20.
Okay, so how far are you from Michigan City?
Milwaukee to Michigan City. 3:30. So that would be good.
Yeah, because Pam and Steph, when they go on their getaways with the Crockpot crew, they go to Airbnb in Michigan City.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty central to us.
That would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Maybe like on Survivor finale when we have Stephanie with us. To do
that would be awesome.
It would have to be during the week because that's on a Thursday, right? When is the finale?
Wednesdays.
Oh.
Survivor does Wednesday nights.
And I can work remotely within the state of Michigan. And Michigan City is Indiana, technically.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I can get exception. He's not going to know. As long as I have a Wi-Fi signal and I can't use my phone, I have to be on a dedicated Wi-Fi. Before, you could use your phone, and you could do it anywhere and they would never know. But now I think they want,
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Survivor's not even started yet, but that'll be fun. Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of stuff that you'll have to edit out, but we got to close this show.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us today and listening to our recap for week 1. Yes, excited for week 2.
Yes, I'm excited for what week 2 is going to bring, not only for Big Brother, we all know that's our focus, but we've still got other seasons of, a lot of the other shows, Real Housewives, a lot of Bravo shows that we're going to bring you whatever we work or whatever else we watch each week. But our focus is, of course, for this session is Big Brother. So again, leave us comments in the comments if you watched it. Who's your favorite? Who's your front runner? Who you wanted to be evicted? And what you think about Rachel. So until next time, everybody, keep your stitches tight.
And your alliances tighter.
Bye!
Bye!